What's up, Mark?
Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man?
Good, brother. How's it going?
It's going all right. Just watching Cisco Live.
You hear my audio okay?
Yeah, it's going all right.
Nice.
You?
Nice. I think there's a bit of a right on. I think we might have a little bit of an audio delay. Just a heads up, but we'll work through it. We'll make it work.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Right on. We're looking to let a few people get joined here. I've got about 3 viewers right now. Thanks everyone for jumping on. It's kind of rapid fire this morning. So much stuff going on. Hey, Andre. Thanks for joining the stream, man. I appreciate having you on. Would love any comments. So as viewers kind of jump on right now before we get started on the debrief, for everybody watching, got about 5 folks joining us. Feel free to post comments. We'll definitely chime in, ask questions if you have any as we go through it. And we'll get to them and have a good time. So with that, why don't we get started? Mark, that was a blast. I came out of the keynote and did a live stream with some folks right after the keynote, and then jumped into the SecureX session a few minutes late, but jumped right into this awesome dashboard. And I remember made sure to wear my SecureX shirt today. And I remember seeing some of the dashboarding stuff back at RSA, but you're seeing more details today that correlated these threats back and forth and actually showed much more of a workflow. I would love to get your take on how does SecureX not just change the story Cisco's telling, but how does SecureX take the things that we've been doing for the last couple of years, even up to as recently as CTR, and how does it take all of that and put it into what we're seeing now in these demos?
No, it's a good point. So my whole thing about security, I don't know if I wouldn't call it a pessimistic look, but your job as a security professional is to keep things safe that you didn't create, right? That's your job, right? You have to lock down and make sure you have to keep things locked down that you didn't write. You didn't write the code for Microsoft OS. You didn't write the code for Apple OS. You didn't write the code for the networking gear that you're using day to day. Yet your job as a security professional is to keep that stuff safe. So you're basically finding and fixing other people's mistakes. That's your job, right? And as a result of you not writing that code, not really understanding how they created the product to begin with, you don't have a lot of visibility into how to do that job, right? So there's this weird dichotomy here of I'm going to buy some stuff and put it in my network and use it, but I didn't create it, I didn't write it, and I just have to keep it safe because my business relies on these things. And so that lack of visibility, that lack of understanding is kind of hard sometimes, especially for security professionals who have limited staff, limited time, limited budget. So what I like about SecureX is it kind of helps fix a lot of that problem by automatically taking all these different sources of intel that we have from a security professional and consolidating it down into a single place to go to find answers. And that's your goal. I think as a security dude, your goal is to find answers. And getting those answers can sometimes be really hard because systems don't have all the same amount of visibility, or you or your company doesn't have the right knowledge set to understand what the alert is trying to tell you. And so being able to consolidate all these things into a single place to go and then have that thing do the automations necessary to help you find out where the problem is and how to fix the problem, that's huge, right? That makes your job a lot easier because it takes you out of the realm of I have to go Google what all this stuff means and then how to fix it and then figure out where to fix it and where to implement that fix. And it fixes it it consolidates it down to just the one place to go to find out where you need to go and what you need to patch and how to fix the problem. Maybe the problem's already been fixed and it's just telling you after the fact, hey, we saw this thing and then we automatically fixed it for you. So that's what I like about SecureX, is it makes my job as a security guy easier.
It's a really good point. And I noticed a lot in that demo that JD was doing. A lot of the interface looked or was reminiscent of CTR and brought a lot of that sort of trajectory-based insight into what, not just where are the threats, what are they called, et cetera, but where are they going, where did they come from, and all that stuff. But it definitely looked like, to your point, it brought in a lot more of the feed information. I mean, clearly that's the basis of the product, but it's bringing more of that feed information to give you that context right in the home screen. And I really loved, what did he call it? I think it was in the bottom right corner of the screen, some sort of like little jump menu that popped up and just told you, here's the thing that happened. I started a workflow automatically. But do you remember what he called that little section?
Those are your SecureX alerts, right? And they're tied to the SecureX ribbon, right? So the ribbon is the thing at the bottom of the screen that ties the whole solution together amongst all the different products that are in SecureX, right? So in SecureX, we have all the alerting stuff. We have all the dashboards. We also have CTR. CTR is part of SecureX now. It's one part of the four-part solution that is SecureX.
Okay.
Right? And then the alerts that pop up, those are proactive things that either can come from Talos. If you have a service from Talos that is automatically digging into details for you and showing you, hey, you need to do this, or maybe they're just news feeds, or they're just events that you want bubbled up to the top. You get to choose, kind of customize how those alerts function, and then it can alert you and you can dive in. So the thing I liked you showed in that alert was the fact that his IPS, or I think it was his IPS or his umbrella solution, one of the two caught something. It saw something and it created an alert based off of that. But then immediately after that alert, it used the automation rules that were set up to automatically create a ticket in ServiceNow, assign that ticket to him, and then it automatically ran an investigation and took a snapshot of that CTR investigation, and then it did an orbital query search to take a snapshot of what the computer looked like at the time the threat was discovered. Because, and that's crucial, when it automatically can take the snapshot when the thing was found, that means I have real data about the threat. Because typically what will happen is you'll get an alert, right? You'll figure out what the alert means. And by the time you figure out what the alert means and you can finally figure out where to go to do the further investigation, more likely than not, the malware incident has already been dissipated from the machine, right? The bad guys like to hide their tracks, and they clean up the system, and they kind of obfuscate what they were doing in some way, whether they delete themselves or they hide themselves under a different process or whatever it might be. They try to hide their tracks. So by doing those snapshots in real time, that's huge, because now you have real data to work with. You say, at this point in time, I know that device was infected. And then you can take action based off of that. So that was fun.
Yeah, it's such a good point. And I noticed there's two things that really struck me from that. One of them was the simplicity of like, the tool is just going to tell you. I've noticed this for years. I've never been a full security person, but in the network engineering roles I've had in my past, last couple of companies I worked at before Cisco, I was always in a role like a lot of small businesses are, where, I may have run the team, but I was also the network engineer. And then I had two people on the team who also did like 4 different versions of the same type of job, because there's 3 people on the team. So I had to kind of be the security guy and the networking guy and the data center guy and the blah, 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 just like everybody else. And it was interesting that entire part of my career, for the network and for a variety of other places, you would always get all these insights that told you as close as you could get to what your problem was. But with the security world, there was nothing. It was like, here's a data point. Best of luck. Pin a $20 bill in your lapel and wish you the best of luck at figuring out how to fix that problem. It's like you needed to go to Sands West like 3 times in a row and take like 4 different courses to learn any amount of information that was going to teach you how to understand that. It's like, but it's a security threat. It's like the most important thing in my network. I work for a credit union. It's like, we had a breach. I need to fix it right now. But all the data to all the security tools are like, well, I'm not going to tell you how to fix it or even what it is. I'm just going to tell you that something happened. Yeah. So seeing that like correlation already pop up that says, I want to get you as close as possible to knowing what this was, is huge. And it may not seem like an enormous thing, but I haven't seen that in the limited career I've had around security. I've never seen, without some hugely expensive and complicated tool to deploy, I've never seen anything that like really gets you that close to what you need to do. And I think a part of that too, I've noticed, is the term automation is thrown around a lot, but I think the better way, at least the more effective way I think that resonates with those people, is it creates a habit, because habits are automations. You and I have habits to do certain things. That's just an automation. We're automating. We don't have to remember to do something. It just happens. But if you have to always try to build a habit and remember these things around security practices, how to do workflow, you're going to make a mistake at some point. So basically, it's taking those habits that you may remember, like culturally remember as a security person, it just puts them into a workflow for you. So they're just done and you don't have to remember it, but you can audit it really easily, which is kind of legit.
Yeah. I like what Jamie said. He actually defined that. Whenever he talked about the workflow stuff, he said orchestration and automation. And he got into the details on that. I really liked how he defined it. He said orchestration is the act of taking a monotonous thing that you have to do over and over and over and over again and fixing it, making that easier, fixing the repetitive nature of tasks. Whereas the automation stuff is taking separate devices or separate programs or separate utilities and marrying them together into that workflow so it's all seamlessly integrated. Right? And so SecureX does both by default. To go back to your comment a second ago about not having enough information, not having enough detail. I kind of do DIY, home DIY stuff on the weekends. And I always end up taking, as much as I don't want to, multiple trips to Home Depot the same day, right? Because I'm missing this, or I need more screws, or I need this new tool, or I need more lumber, right? And you just have to keep going back. And that's the most annoying part of the whole thing. And I equate that really to the security practitioner's experience, right? Because you constantly have to find the thing you're looking for, and then, okay, I don't know what to do now. I got to go back to Google, and I got to go do more research. And it's just this constant over and over and over trudge through this stuff. And nobody likes that.
Oh my God.
And SecureX helps us a lot. It's like having it's like if you go back to the Home Depot analogy, SecureX spits out your shopping list you need that one time, right? And you go there once and you get everything you need, and then you're done. And that's what I really like about SecureX and the automation part of it. It allows you to quickly get through your day to the next thing. Because as you said, you did it at your credit union, right? You were the security guy. And you also probably did a bunch of other stuff, like my desktop's not working, or my keyboard's sticky because I spilled coffee inside of it, or whatever it might be, right? No one has time to be the dedicated security practitioner that everybody wants us to be. And when the CIO or CXO or whoever says, go keep us safe on the internet, they don't really understand what they're asking, right?
You're like,
because
totally.
Yeah, I got you. Sure thing. We're good. And it's a full time.
You turn around, you walk back to your desk, and you're like, "What the hell do I do now?"
Yeah. Like, time to do some Googling, right? That's basically what it means.
Yeah.
So I liked how he talked about the automation and orchestration stuff. That was fun.
For sure. Now, a quick break. So, I mean, this is all exciting stuff, and there's a couple questions that came through I think we should get to in a second. But some of the comments, I appreciate everyone chiming in. Paul Torres said, do you have a different shirt for every broadcast, Jeff? And I do. Yes, I do. I'm going to do wardrobe changes in the next couple of days. Hair and makeup. Yes, hair and makeup. I said that. Beard oil. We're going to get you guys. I get all ready. I know you're pretty for you guys. No, I don't know what I'm talking about. And then I love this. Thank you guys for chiming in. I really appreciate it. Kristen had a question. I think is a really great one. Since this is cloud native, do we expect rapid expansion of the platform? Any thoughts on how SecureX will evolve in the next months? And actually, Kristen, thanks for asking that, because it actually leads into something else I think I've seen at RSA, or at least alluded to, that would be really interesting to understand. Is I think he touched on it a bit in the presentation, and maybe there's more details coming in later. But it seems like there's going to be a lot of third-party integrations, or there already are a number built in, where other feeds of threat intelligence and other systems can be brought in, or at least connected to do more of what SecureX does, but with other, point solutions. I'm also really curious about what the APIs look like for the platform, since it is cloud native, what that looks like, so you can actually do your own integrations to ITSM platforms or CMDBs or other sorts of incident response tools or processes you have within your own organization.
Yeah, he did address that a little bit. Because it's cloud native, we can expect rapid improvements and features to be added in a quick fashion. It's cloud native means we control all the hardware, we control all the software, and it's just a service that gets provided. As a result of that, we can iterate very, very, very quickly due to the agile design process that they've built on the back end for this stuff. So with agile, they are doing nightly testing for brand new features. We can integrate things very, very quickly now, also because it's both agile and it's API based, like you said. So we publish the APIs. Anybody can write the APIs. The idea that one of the big goals for SecureX is for any network device or security device or operating system, whatever it might be that's out there, on all their data sheets, we would love to have a little bullet point that says SecureX compliant or SecureX capable. Right? That's our goal, is to make it that easy for things to plug in to the system as quickly as possible. And we hope it's pretty easy already, but we're going to have to wait for those third-party users to get on board. We do have a lot of them already. I took a snapshot of one of the screenshots that Jamie has posted. We already have in there AWS, Ansible, Puppet, Chef, Google Cloud Platform, Microsoft Azure. Let's see, what was the other ones they showed off? ServiceNow, Gigamon, Pulse Drive, Qualys, Microsoft Security, Threat Quotient, Google Safe Browsing, even Chronicle. I mean, all these things, Virus Total, they're already part of the system already, and that speaks to how we didn't go and solicit all these guys to create custom code to get into SecureX. We said, look, hey, we're creating this system. It's called SecureX. Here's some APIs if you want to integrate, and they did, and it was that easy for them.
I love that. I love that what we're seeing is much more of a focus. I mean, we saw this on the data center side with Intersight within the last year, and now we're finally seeing this adoption on the security side. And I think it's, there is no one end all be all for everything. That's just not how these technologies work. But having something like SecureX that we can start at a place like this, where all of our own security products map into one place, so it gives you a central place to start your intelligence, your threat intelligence, and your hunting, and all that. Make it accessible to anybody else, like that list of companies you put out there and that Jamie put out there that are already mapping in. Having a set of APIs, you can go to our DevNet site, developer.cisco.com, and find those API information, learn how to consume them. If you're a company who wants to, or if you're an individual who wants to do your own integrations with it, you can find all that information out there. I mean, having that accessible makes it, the term extensible is probably overused, but I think it's a really good one, because the idea here, if I'm understanding what he presented on what you just said, the idea here isn't to make the one end all be all. It's to make a platform. Again, this is very much like for us with a lot of other cloud solutions like Meraki. It's not about the hardware that you buy. It's about this platform that enables you to do a lot of the functions you need, if not many more functions than you already knew about, for your company and for your business, to support your business. You're going to have to buy some hardware and other software to come along with that based on what you need in your company. But that's not what it's about. What it's about is simplifying the consumption of this data to make it easier to run your org safely and securely. The stuff you buy behind it, the hardware, the software endpoints, whatever they are, that's just what you buy to kind of fill in the places where you need them.
Yeah, I whenever I'm talking about security, just anybody in general, when we're talking about buying products and this widget is better than this widget because of X, Y, and Z, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really mean anything, because that product is only as good as the intelligence behind it, right? And being able to consume that intelligence and leverage that intelligence, that's the key. That's where the rubber meets the road. So if you have a product that can both easily allow you to consume the intelligence that's either generated by third parties or by your own internal systems, and then apply that to create a good security posture, that's what we actually need. And that's what SecureX helps drive, is getting to that effective security. I always get the question, or my customers, I should say, get the question a lot from their higher ups and their bosses: are we secure? And that's a dumb question. That's the wrong question to be asking. Because no, we're not secure. We're on the internet. Of course we're not secure, right? The proper question is, what is our security posture right now, right? Where do we stand as it sits? Do we have any major breaches? Do we have any giant problems that we know about? Are there anything that is impacting business in a significant way? Those are the right questions to ask. But are we secure is a black and white decision. That's not ever going to be the case with security. There's no other part in the network where you have a gray scale of functionality, right? The router's either working or it's not, right? The server's either on or it's off, right? Security isn't either on or off. Right? You can't turn security on or turn it off. It's not there. So you need this easy way to interact with your security devices to answer those questions, I think. And SecureX helps with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. Well, Mark, thank you so much for joining, man. I really appreciate it. We're about 21 minutes in, and I think we did a pretty good debrief on the session, but clearly no replacement for watching the session. So when all these become available to consume here, probably in the next couple of weeks, for everyone in the audience and anyone watching this live stream after we're done being live here in the next few days, definitely catch up on the session and all the other SecureX sessions. There's a lot more content and a lot more information coming out about it. I believe it becomes generally available in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out on Cisco.com for more details there.
Yeah, and it's nothing
again,
that they have to
have
buy.
You, man. Thank you so much for joining.
Yep. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. We buried the lead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Finish, please. Yeah.
If you have any Cisco product today, you get SecureX for free. There's no subscription. There's no license. There's nothing. So that in and of itself is big. And I can't believe we waited to the very end of the broadcast to talk about that.
Got to bury the lead. We got to keep everyone here for a reason. Like, oh, and one more thing. There's our Steve Jobs moment.
Well, thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, it is totally free. I think that is. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you being here. And for everybody else out there, thank you guys so much for joining the second live stream of the day today. That's it on the live streams for today. But don't despair. There's plenty more Cisco Live content coming all day today. There's a lot of special guests throughout the entire day. So keep watching the Cisco Live channels for all the content. There's musical guests and all kinds of things happening. Tomorrow, we've got another keynote in the morning. We're hosting a multi-cloud live stream session tomorrow at, I believe, also at 11:10 a.m. So tune back here to Baz Bytes. Actually, it's right up here. Tune up to Baz Bytes for both live streams tomorrow. There'll be one after the multi-cloud session tomorrow. We're also going to have one after the future of the digital workplace, the Meraki session tomorrow afternoon. I think at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time also. So please tune in for those. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then don't forget, DevNet Day is on Thursday. If you haven't registered for that, go to developer.cisco.com and get registered. That's also free. Super excited, guys. If you have any other questions, this video will be posted later on today. Definitely add comments. Everyone who attended, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. There's a lot of you who came through. I know we didn't get to everyone's comments or feedback, but I did see them all, and I really do appreciate you guys chiming in. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and we will see you super soon. Thank you, guys.